TV Suni ebusia for updates ahodo wo ensemu ekoso wo Ghana ha ni amanone na yede ebro ye hyase na ye kwakopie mu wo South Africa mine emu for some time now no they've been back to back updates yede ebremo wo platform we so with regards to South Africa for wo mu protester wo mu twene denden de ebi hu ne said this is more or less like a xenophobic attack to the other African countries like Ghana, Nigeria, Benin, Congo, nia diade ewo krodwe nimu. Now you say the back and forth of this issue has been going on for days and weeks now. Say na kwa say o man bia sebe wadehye ewo South Africa man nimu no ewo say ope kwan bi so na uyi wo mu free ho cause day in day out na protest na ekoso nti ubaye man Ghana mu ha ensem we free Foreign Affairs Ministry no eba no na eda screens no so see 300 Ghanaians to be evacuated after South Africa's xenophobic attack in Sabre there you monitor nsem a ekoso no from the Foreign Affairs Ministry na so mu chema they are counting over 13,000 plus of Ghanaians more ewo South Africa na so mprempren de emu 300 na Sabre more aye eniema mo de niema tutu akwemu a wo mo hwe se wo mo ebe evacuate wo mo ede free South Africa minus wo betimi atwe wo mo free already ne hu se abrante baako Emmanuel wo no na sem de na ha Ghana for paisa se wo hwe se de attack ne call no so na manfo yem hihye wo mo efa de betimi ato no enso ye hwe ye no na Foreign Affairs for timi de na be pie mu wo man Ghana mu se wo mo che se other nipa 300 bi wo ho bie ma wo mo hwe kwan se wo mo de wo mo eba be pie Ghana ha e wasomdwe mu. Now the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa what in sembia to ja na on your screens no eno ene yejebre akan mu ede ama o say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has granted presidential approval for the immediate evacuation of 300 Ghanaians in South Africa. Intina wachema mampeni John Dramani Mahama na wama sa tumi no se enipa 300 no yentimi embwa wo mo no mutimi free South Africa mine mo be pie mu Ghana ha asumdwe mo. See, these distressed Ghanaians had earlier complied with the Foreign Ministry's advisory and registered with a High Commission in Pretoria to be rescued following the latest wave of xenophobic attacks into a chema. Senipa 300 we no wo mo hyehyeye beka ne se the embassy Ghana embassy meka ne se South Africa na Ghana ye High Commissioner onso ewo ho bia sebe wo mo de nhihye gu akwa mu se wo apese ye de wo ba Ghana no fa so sei na ye sei se nipa 300 we na wo mo edidi nhye ne so ewo Pretoria Sabre de wo mo hye kwam de wo mo eba be pie mu Ghana. So the government of Ghana shall continue to safeguard the welfare of all Ghanaians home and abroad. Na che se wo mo hye kwan se kwan bia so no Ghana ni bia wo South Africa no wo mo ebetimi abon omo ho ban na bibia ento wo mo ya wo Ghana hanso no wo mo de o metimi bia se de be ya they could literally protect us as well. And no na Sabre de free the Foreign Affairs Ministry ho eba concerning Ghana for wo mo ho akadwa wo South Africa mine mu kwan wo betimi afa so de wo mo abepie mu wo Ghana eno mo ma ye te ase se wo mo de nhihye gu akwan mu enti enche ye bete se sa nipa 300 no etimi abepie mu wo fie asomdwe emu ne nyina mu no Kenya mine no emu kopie mu ho a summit African Forward Summit ekoso a Sabre de Kenya fo bi no mo kra de wo mo etwe protest wo we san say mekanise summit we no a Kenyan president na afein so France for president Emmanuel Macron na host this summit we ya mekasa about 30 heads of states akopie mu wo Kenya Sabre ya summit ne ekoso aye mampani His Excellency John Dramani Mahama enso wo summit no ase na eno ada ye hwe said na protest ne kono na se Kenya for ne maye hunse sa summit no African Forward Summit ne ekoso wo mo man ni mu no omo ani enje hom na nkomochichi akoso no na ye mampani John Dramani Mahama e de atodwa se the summit no kamia ye se the amanfo portray says useless emfaso bi eni so no according to John Dramani Mahama de onya emfaso pa e wo sa summit we eso a nsemu ebeto odwa amanfo chem se enti Kenya fo no e de porte no mu gina so de yes our protest yenkutie President John Dramani Mahama ensema wode to monten so.
Mr. President, one question for CNN, sir.
Larry, how are you?
I'm very well, Mr. President. Okay, I can walk with you as we talk. Has this been valuable, sir?
Yeah, very. I just came out of a session
Right.
on African multilateral financial institutions.
Right.
And how to leverage cheaper capital
Right.
for Africa's development.
Right.
I think we've talked enough. It's time to move on it. And I believe that the discussions we've had would advance that objective even further.
Is the rest of the world listening? Because all of you African leaders have been saying this for a long time.
Yes, we have. So it's time to put action to it.
President of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, ena o kasa se summit no African Forward Summit koso wo Kenya sabre ya Kenyan president co-hosted by France for President Emmanuel Macron no niema bebre wo ma sebe ebeboa the here ne say niema o mo keka no sebe it would be put into action. What without action no it becomes fruitless. Enti say omo the action time ensem ne chidea na che say Africans are going to benefit entirely from this particular summit koso. Now coming back to South Africa, the brouhaha koso no with the xenophobic attack and the brother to the president of Ghana, the CEO of Engineers and Planners, Captain Ibrahim, or the Ababetuja Ibrahim Mahama, or the Ababetuja, Fat Nyama koso no now. We share screens in so I will say tell South Africans that we share bracket nimwa Ghanaians will fix our country. Enti ya brand here Manuel Samoa nano ada South Africa for koche no wo oman ni mu ano mo chene se on free omokro ni so enko no nko fix the country ni ade no eno na the brother to the president of Ghana Ibrahim Mahama edi atudwa say omoma South Africa for enya na subtie se Ghana yate de omo Kenya na yate se mo pamo Ghanaians so South Africa so mo free ho no na all because you want them to fix their country yate we are ready to fix our country inti yebeye adwuma na enra wo hwe enkomotwetwe course ye de ho update eba ahwefo between Captain Ibrahim Traore Ibrahim Mahama ne Emmanuel Samoa Ghanani a South Africa for attacking na chese otimu se ka Ibrahim Mahama nko ade a enka the Foreign Affairs Ministry embo ne homodin bia se Ghana ni di se bia mpo enkopie mu South Africa mine mu talk less of going to stay there live their lives open investment ni ade wo honum debi enya ade a se yesoso so sa kwan no eso now ni nyina mu no with what is happening no yate say mechanic said the Foreign Affairs Ministry e de abetudwa say omo evacuation exercise bi ebe koso said be ya Ghana fo a wo mo akwa dwa South Africa mine mu no wo mo ebetimi de wo mo abepie mu Ghana ha asem no a trend ama me no ka say BBC and so a report on your screens or say Ghana to evacuate 300 from South Africa over anti-immigrant protest way every BBC. Now let's delve deeper into nsemo BBC for no ediaba. So I say Ghana says it will evacuate 300 citizens from South Africa following a recent wave of protests against foreign nationals. Foreign Minister Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa said in a post on X on Tuesday that the Ghanaian president has granted approval for their immediate evacuation. Intino Ocean Samoa koso ne dia na chese Ghana ye mampani no wagye atomu se enipa be 300 omo ho aka adwa South Africa no ye ma wo mo immediate evacuation no mo bepie mu Ghana hanom se no na BBC ebo hu dero. He said the distressed Ghanaians had registered at the country's embassy in Pretoria to be rescued in response to an advisory by the Foreign Ministry following the latest wave of xenophobic attacks. Last week, South African authorities denied that anyone had been attacked, saying the widely circulated videos are fake. On Monday, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa said the recent protest and criminal acts directed at foreign nationals did not reflect government policy, describing them as isolated act of criminality. Enti no oshemwa na ensemwe bani nyina na ehse South Africa for womo eye aban panifo etem se videos a echo viral no eye fake na chese obiya attack African ni bia nanso we've seen that this is happening in Ghana there ye try say ye bebo ye manfo ho ban enti ye de ye pen ho asem no ye kwa evacuate ye nkrofo edi free South Africa mine no emu na o se Ghana and Nigeria have recently summoned the South African envoys to their respective countries over the mistreatment and harassment of their citizens. Ghana has also written to the African Union asking it to discuss the issue, saying it posed a serious risk to the safety and well-being of South Africans. Africans in South Africa. International say Ochemo Ghana and Nigeria. Ye no ya truck ya tebri in krata e de akoma AU. So omonhwe no omonkasa emfanfa ensem no isan say edo how ena eba beto Africa for umakopie mu e South Africa mine emu. South Africa responded by saying it had nothing to hide. The government has condemned the circulation of what it called fake videos and images described by some as recordings of attacks on foreign nationals. Other countries that have warned their citizens in South Africa, including Kenya, Malawi, Lesotho, and Zimbabwe. According to official figures, South Africa is home to more than 3 million foreigners, or about 5% of the population, but there are believed to be many more without papers. Xenophobia has long been an issue in the country and has been accompanied by occasional outbursts of deadly attacks. Countries like Kenya, Malawi, Lesotho, Zimbabwe no womo ede futuo ene kokobo ama eye womo etimemufo e South Africa. So womo nhwe mo ye ensem ni bia ba no so chese okopie mo South Africa dia na be 3 million enipa be 3 million ena womo eye other Africans are womo ewo South Africa kronim, which is about 5% of the South African population. Omjidi se omumu dodo na eni enkrata enti sabre die attack no eye to those that do not have a legal document to be in the country. Ghana ye shese yen 300 people are shese ye be evacuate omo no ombetimi abepie mu e wo man we mu asumdwe emu ebusia sabre die ye be sorry so e de free South Africa ensem a ekoso no emu na yakwa kopie mu ewo ensem foforo mu. Now Ghana is trending across the globe, and this time around no it's for a good reason. Mean kanisa instance we share screens so I'll be who Look Oil Company. Now Look Oil Company a Russian mechanism oil company womo dominate pa wo globally any ade now so many wo say they are facing some restrictions any ade international sanctions be abo mo ni ade say affecting womo operations ni ade no ena international news and I say international media Bloomberg ababe breaking news ni say yehwemu say Ghana we are looking forward to buying some shares from Look Oil for womo shares ni emu. Now on your screens or say Ghana is taking steps to buy Look Oil's stake in an offshore oil block to gain greater control over future output in the country. International say shema Ghana say yebenya shares wo Look Oil Company no emu na in some way better jano it has become a whole lot of issues and a lot of people are jubilating this and say it has a lot of benefits. Ghana ebetimi are benefiting. Now on your screens again is still Bloomberg. It says that Ghana eyes buying sanctions hit Look Oil stake in oil block. Internet say them Ghana smart kakra na enu na man for try say wo mobile linking it to Nigeria and Saudi Arabia and say we share the African countries. Nigeria happens to be one of the countries wo mo bomb who make say major oil powers in Nigeria e kan ho bi Saudi Arabia so e kan say Ghana yen so yetimi enya the shares wo Look Oil Company ni mu anache say yen so ye kweyenim wo oil space no emu. Now yen hwensem ni mo say Ghana is taking steps to buy Look Oil PJ SC stake in an offshore oil block to gain greater control over power future output in the country, according to people familiar with the matter. The West African nation is considering using its preemptive rights to acquire the sanctions-hit Russian company's 38% stake in the Deepwater Tano Cape 3-point block. Into Ushemwa na chese Ghana, baby mechanism look oil for edu omujuma no honom territory kakra enti ne yewotumi yehwemu krana. If other countries want to buy that shares, Ghana will be the make say ne first country betimi atto that particular shares, which is about 38% a company no emu. Now the people said, asking not to be identified because the matter is not public, Ghana claims it has the first rights to the stake after private equity firm Carlyle Group agreed in January to buy most of Look Oil's international portfolio, which likely includes the Ghanaian block, the people said. And according to Bloomberg, for the Muchema, Asemno, Enyanji atese ewo internet in so cry. Now, so a month for the information, a moment, say Ghana, de Yeditumu, say Yesham, Maya Hodwana, Yang and Yedikaya, Sebe, ye what to me, say a bit to me, Aquacoto that 38% shares, ewo Look Oil company no emu. Now we share other issues air poppy air banner. This is going to help Ghana in a whole lot of ways. They said that Chibino is even going to generate income for us because Nigeria Fango generates a lot of income to Nigeria. The same thing applies to Saudi Arabia. On your screens, or say this coming from Joy News, our own people. It says Ghana eyes buying sanctions hit Look Oil's 38% stake in the Deepwater Tano Cape 3-point oil block. Enti na chese say no ensem no ahyase a echo viral amanfo ebo hu deru anesa. And as I was saying, this is going to generate income to the country one way or the other. And after so no, that particular Cape 3-point Tano Cape 3-point honomono is some way somehow into the jurisdiction of Ghana. It's our natural resources, and it's a 38% of it, meaning that we are going to have control of our own natural resources. And in other way, no, it will help development. Say income bar ye benye be the developing ya de oko Saudi Arabia oil fangusika enomatimi the constructions of roads, schools, any other day ama or mine no sebe and that particular oil project no the Pecan field no project be it is within the enclaves of Ghana. Intuition sanctions are better Russia for more business, and so some way somehow no and pose the difficulties there more say they want to sell some of the shares ushemwa na say Ghana so try a lock say would buy it so that eventually in future no we'll be making a year mechanism profit na so we can also be part of the decision making board ebeboa ama oman so ye fango no ebi ababeka emu mfaso ni bi ababeka yensa intim prempre amene wo say there that is the good news flying over globally. HSA Ghana, we are looking at purchasing 38% from a Look Oil company no or more shares no emu and amount for Bebreniaje is said this is going to help the country one way or the other. Now in other news no NIMOS mechanism and a security agency I set it up say one more fight galamsey Ghana hanum say no one more empany for the report aba now report aba ni say about 277 people and I actually one more within the galamsey space ebusia the year asefem one say san nipa 277 no 163 foreign nationals na say omunye Ghana for and omu two galamsey say yensuo ene yensase Ghana and about 112 excavators and as I break the woman season. Now yebeko na yakwa kotie ensemo penifo womo eda NIMOS the security no anono womo ede aba beto dwa yebeto ansem ne so ede amamo.
I said that in the Galamsey space there is nothing like politics. We meet you there, we treat you as an individual who is committing a crime. And therefore, we don't want to veer into the arena of politics. Politics is for the politicians. But when we get to the Galamsey ground, it is individuals who are committing crimes. Let me end up by saying that Diamos has done so well, and so far we have achieved so much. Apart from the calm you see, behind it, we have arrested over 277 people from Galamsey space, out of which 163 are foreign nationals and 100 and something are Ghanaians. I should say the Ghanaians are smarter because they can escape, they know the terrain. Probably that is why. But there are about 112 excavators which are seized and secure that I can always go and show whoever wants to see. They are under the authority of the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. There are over 4,000 chamfans which have been destroyed from our water bodies. And then weapons, currently we are in the process of processing seized weapons. About 124 weapons, assorted with majorly pump action guns, have been seized. And we are in the process of handing over to the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources for onwards, handing to the Ministry of Interior, Ghana Police Service, and Small Arms and Light Weapons Commission, so that they can be documented properly and destroyed where they need be, so that the story will be that of a straightforward one and not a crooked one like you highlighted we've seen in the past. So we are focused, we are poised, and want to assure the good people of Ghana that NIMOS will be active. Our focus is the water bodies, and we want to pray and hope that come July, when the rainy season stops, we may see a few water bodies clearing, and then we can sustain it to other areas.
For way updates if in 9 months and penning for her eba omo trema omo ye juma pa, they are going to places omo visit emiambia omo so se Galamsey no koso ho na no eno matimi abomode achi nipa be 277 mu dodo no 163 na eno foreign nationals na ntremu a omo edema nsem ne se Ghana for no omo mu ne de omo ye very smart and quick omo mu nim the ins and outs, the pros and cons of the activity of Galamsey no. Enti omo na ya omo tumi dwane entem so na akabro for na nti na ama meka said the foreign nationals no amanfo omo free aman for eso no about 163 no. Na onim say den ya some would say the 112 excavators are almost say womo action no say excavators na we himfa, because there've been times where yakọ Galamsey site yakọ chiche excavators ni ade afa ye be wiase ni eni ba bi excavators nafa say they are common ranu mo ani ade ade, but now must in 24 chema the excavators are there and it is under the Ministry of Natural Resources, and it say omo pa obetimi kra de wakọ tell say excavators are ye seize ye no enie and now must for the omo ye adwuma pa sans omo say Galamsey no omo afọ omo na ye nsi ho no ma ye nsuo ni ade de ebesey na sankofo we ya che omo no definitely Embrano will take its due course on them, particularly the foreign nationals who to me feel chrome eba obi chrome sebe ebe indulge in activities say natural resources like water, like land, any idea there be any idea or more ebe ma ho ekwan. So 9 months for chema, they are working in full force to make sure say the Galamsey activities no koso ewo miamie ahodo no so ebetimi ate ewo krodue mu hanum say. So in praying there because the 9 months for ebo adwuma with the number of people omatimi ache omo no, and looking at how they are still on their toes working no, despite the fact that ebinumu ye too smart to run away as at when they are coming no. But at the end of the day no, still omatimi ache ebinumu ewo mu a omo be koso aye surveillance work to capture all those involved in Galamsey ewo Ghana hanum same. Now ye free ensem way eso na ebusia yenko ensem foforo eso a ara osemo asese abetodwa na eko viral, more like a breaking news no efa NP edema Asante Achem North wono enanimfoni eda screens ne so no Honorable Kwame Ohene Frimpong na asemo abetodwa ene se woko meka ne se government assignment ɛwɔ Netherlands na okopie mu ho no no ade a ye detain no ayache no enti on your screens or say Asante Achem North MP Kwame Ohene Frimpong has been detained in the Netherlands na arawo sem we ba obebusa say the boni odi den ne see ye any ade abusia enchemu ni nyina ɛwɔ ho no na sabre po de me ne wo kase the Parliament of Ghana aba be confirm say indeed ade a mrahye bedwani no yache no enti on your screens no way every Parliament of Ghana or say detention in the Hague Netherlands of Honorable Member for Asante Achem North Constituency, Mr. Kwame Ohene Frimpong. It has come to the attention of Parliament that the Honorable Member for Asante Achem North Constituency, Mr. Kwame Ohene Frimpong, has been detained at the Schiphol Airport, Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. The Right Honorable Speaker and the leadership of the House are in touch with Ghana's mission in the Hague for detailed information on the matter. The public will be duly informed appropriately on this matter. Signed, Mr. Ebenezer Ahuma, Jetro, Clerk to Parliament. Into womo chema, womo confirm it, say, and someone to say, social media, and this one be no more fake news, no, no crap. Say Member of Parliament, Mashebejani, Edema, Asante Achem North, Abeto, Empeswaso no, Yacheno, the Netherlands, Sabre de, Omo trying the Ometimi Bias, Omo Beshishemu, and Semnimu details. Now, so NTA by nature say it has something to do with a romance scam, any idea, Ibn say a man USA, and Sa Ewumubia, Ibn Mokacha, so my extraditing no Edeno Aquaco Piemu, US, and so in Prempre say lawyer ni a wojine mu ama Mr. Kwame Ohene Frimpong lawyer appear kubi wababe kasa cheche ensem ni mu fa ne client Honorable Kwame Ohene Frimpong dia ekoso eni sentira ya che no ne de ni mu a wo mo hwe se wo mo betimi aye yebekọ na yakoti lawyer appear kubi.
I cannot speak to the fact of the detention, but I can speak to the allegation that is making the rounds. And I also rely on the allegation and say that we are told that there is such an arrest and detention at this present time. And the international law says that you cannot crucify somebody when you have not heard his side of the story. So he is deemed to be innocent until proven guilty. And that we expect due process to go through, and let us see the results of due process. And at the end of the day, when he is given the opportunity to also establish his case, and a ruling comes thereon, then we can rely on the ruling and say who is guilty and who is not.
For that is lawyer Pia Kubi wono ena ejine mu de amamra shebedwani a yache no e Netherlands no na nsem a wode etudwane se de wo mu entimi enkase ensem a ye de bo Honorable Kwame Ohene Frimpong no wodi efo e wo ho and anase wodi bem e wo ho until say ensem no wo metimi ahwehwe mu ehu emu no kre no wo mu entimi enche ensem no wo mu gusua pe asempotinti a wo mo de sa omakwache no ewo airport ewo Netherlands. Now ushemu a lot of stories are coming up amidst the detainment of the Member of Parliament the Emma Ghana ibi chemu a romance scam bi ni ade since 2022 and wode no akofori mu na FBI fo adi echire sa na fei and omatimi ache no. But then Kevin Taylor ayede ya wo babonten aba be kasa de afa ho a wochemu se be ya se kra de yenhwe ni mu kwan se ye best start to say ye prepare for by-elections, because from the look of things, he's not coming back home any moment from now. And then ekoso yentie Kevin Taylor and chiremua wode ama nsemi a ekoso ye ba ya toaso de amamu.
I'm just receiving this information. Detention in The Hague, Netherlands, of Honorable Member for Asante Achem North Constituency, Mr. Kwame Ohene Frimpong. Team, let me read this. Nayan Twaso. That means maybe a by-election because so. I don't know how I control Ghana elections. That means by-election because so. afuna mo be how I control Ghana elections. The by election because what afuna mo be how they be ameka chem say MPP ebedi opposition 42 years na afina wo beti ase. Now we will come to that matter. We will come to this MP's issue. I just had to read a little bit of it. But Drew are making kind edwum ama eye Asante Achim for atiase. Now
la ena wakasa no twema bebi ansem ne keka kono e wo se empanimfo e hya ase boaboa wo ho say definitely by elections ebe koso. That should tell you the detriment of this particular issue. Na ebi bisa say na honorable Kwame Ohene Frimpong wodom amanyoko ben no wo MPP amanyoko no emu na wokogina independent during the 2024 elections and owini ye no and wo chem say abanye teso ene ne gro nti woni NDC na egro nti wokodi the majority no afa nti ene ebinum chema amane magana fom bom humuso kra enkan ne nka eye NPP MPs for no ho but enye no kra ye the issue at hand say ni detainment no na amanfo pese omuhu adeport enam so ma ya che na ebinum kra HM say US for say wo mo ya ma omani atel mani nton with the way they are arresting Ghana for ni ade FBI insensem eya doso dodo now so me no ka say eya black rasta waba be church nsem ni mu into details a watchemu how things started with honorable issues on ne yiri benya ye ni ade ansana say crampo the FBI for and I say ya che no e wo Netherlands airport honum now black rasta nchire mu no abusia ye be call na ya kwakotie ni nyina na ye ba ya san pensem ni mu ye de ama ahwefo.
A few months ago, it came out that he and his ex-wife had an issue. It was all over Ghana. Yes, there was a little issue, he told me, Black Rasta, nothing serious. We were told that he was arrested by the police and so on and so forth in the UK, and that he was not going to be able to return to the Ghana parliament anytime soon. But he told me point blank, Black Rasta, that's not the truth. Yes, something small happened, but it's been dusted. And true to his words, just a few days later, he was back in Ghana and the rumors died. He's a very nice gentleman when you meet him. To those of you who eat both fruit puff, this is the owner of that outfit that produces that. He had big plans for his constituency. And during the campaign, the guy who was the MP there before him was actually going around telling people that this man was a scammer and that nobody should vote for him. A scammer. I remember I called him and I asked him, and he told me, Black, they are just saying anything at all to win elections. And of course, that's what politicians do. And he still went ahead and won the elections. He has the masses behind him. People love him in Agogo and beyond. Achim North. This is their MP. Achim South. Asante Achim North. Asante Achim North. That's their MP. Thank you, MCR. My brother, my sister, I've had the opportunity to go to that area and I saw a lot. It's a beautiful place and the people love him. I don't know how the people are going to take this, but remember, you are not guilty until you are proven guilty beyond all doubts. Right now, he's going to be extradited to the United States of America. And we are told that this crime, alleged crime, was done in 2019. 2019, 7 years ago. Did he do this 7 years ago? Did he continue doing it? Or did he stop somewhere along the line? Crime has no expiry date. This is an MP. He's going to be extradited to the United States from the information we have. The little I know about OK Frimpong, he's a very nice gentleman. And our prayer is that if he's guilty, may he suffer for the evil that he did. And if he is innocent, may he walk clean. But what is the Parliament of Ghana saying? Remember where you first heard it. Right on the show. OK Frimpong is in the grips of the law. He was picked up right there in the Netherlands. A joint action between the EOCO of Ghana and the FBI of the United States. This is OK Frimpong. You can see that I'm having some big difficulty articulating myself. If this is true, it will be a shocker. And if this is a lie, then we will be exonerated. It is what it is. Okay, we wish you all the best. And our prayer is that all we are hearing is a lie. But the fact that FBI has a hand in it, most of the time, it is closer to the truth. It's the black pot, aka Kukushonamo. And here, we speak truth to power.
Abusia Black Rasta na yetin sema wode etu dwa na chese wo trema Netherlands ho na wo mo eche mrahye de ma Asante Achim North yera ohene Kwame ohene Frimpong na Black Rasta cha wo che mu nyina ne se Iyoko ne US FBI for na ka omo ho ebo mu a sabre de wo mo ebe extradite no e de free Netherlands akopi mu US na ye hwe kwan se nsema omude bono no ebi ebe no kre anase enye no kre but ye chemu a somewhere 2019 ena boni a omude susu no wo yes a boni ni nyina ebi chemu a FBI for sure ase omuye nhwehwe mu fa nsem we mu since 2022 afei eno matimi akwakoche no ntese say yankasa yemra hye bedwani the lawmaker ena ne ho akoka adwa ewo Netherlands a ye chemu say romance scam any other fraudulent activities be ena ne ho akwakobom mu allegedly a ye hwemu bebia nsem no ebekwakodru aso say ye nokre anase enye nokre no ye bedi akire na ye de ho update abre ahwefo. Now let's move on to ensem foforo eso. Currently ye nyina ye nim say mekanise Bono regional chairman Edema the New Patriotic Party Kwame Bafo Abronye ne ho ba nsem bi ewo kodwe mu ha ma yeche no esan nsem bi a okekan ye de fa judge ni pani bi ho ewo Ghana ha na ye remande no ni ade no eche ne beto dwa se wayare dendenden ma ne yere de nakopie mu ewo amanone. Little did we know se wasan be pie mu ewo Ghana hanum se nene wokopie mu ewo high court antie ba ne se yache no ama yasan remanded on your screens. As you can see, or say Abronya DC remanded for 2 weeks entina nyina efa Abronye chia ye che no eho na ne nsem a okokan ye edifa judge pani hu no enene ede no akwakodru babia wakodru na okopie mu e court na de see wo court no eno na aba betoja ebekwa kwahwe video of how things unfolded at the high court ene ebra Abronye ekopie mu e court.
Go back. In right now. Go
Abuja video share no scenes from the high court ene ebra Abronye ekopie mu ewo high court a opie ne san che no ye che ni wie nso ye hwe mu na che se ya man remand na wotwe mienu a me no ka say de wo kwa akotwere a police for akukumu until 2 weeks no na wasan kwa akopie mu ewo court ma ye hu ba bia ne nsem no ebe kwa akodro na ebe to odwa no we've seen a lot of reactions coming from the New Patriotic Party emu empenimfo ebi one person a waba be kasa e de afa de ekoso no eho eye Dennis Edward Abuaje communications director edema Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia na ohwe ne nsem a eno ene that screens no say democracy and free speech under siege international so muchema say de kebiba minke bi enya adwuma o Ghana habiem free speech nso enya adwuma o Ghana habiem now uche ne nsem ni mu into details so say these actions undermine the free speech and are setting Ghana's democracy backwards. I condemn in the strongest of terms the unholy collaboration between the executive, state investigative agencies, and some elements within the judiciary to use intimidation and harassment to silence members of the New Patriotic Party. And womo echemudia na se ni de kebima minke bia memo ni nya adwuma obia enni ni mfa nwodie so obetimi abo na adwene aka de ope na emom se omahu se meka ne se mpanimfo a wo mu ebu oman no ene agencies ahodo a wo mu ye nhwehwemu ene wo maka wo ho abomu ene judiciary no ene wo maka wo abomu a wo pese wo tete MPP amanyoko ni mu enkrofo se de be ya wo ntimi nkasa biem wo maka wo anu atomu prekope o say I therefore serve notice to officers of the state who are active participants in this unholy enterprise that the day of accountability will come and the abuse of state power will be accounted for. International so chema say ya NDC for ayo madwene say wo mo ekura to me enti no other organizations ni ade nyina executive no aseni ade enti wo mo kom ho abom no omo nkan hu no say eda bi beba o ma be hu beba be bu ho akonta na sebe to me nso de ubetimi de aye de open na mbrepam no na ababa be chirim eno ne nsem aye Dennis Edward Abuaje wo de ababa tudwa sasem we wo tu free nsem a the flag bearer for the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, wode etu edwa. Now, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia kasa ensema wode abetu dwa no. Eno ene yede ato o screens ne so ama nti we free the office of Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia. Now, we say democracy and free speech under siege na chese eno ena Dennis Abuaje ebetu hu kakra ede echire ye no o say I have observed with great concern the endless assault on the fundamental rights of officers, activists, and supporters of the New Patriotic Party across the country by the National Democratic Congress government. Inti ochemwa wadinani ato form Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ne kasei. Waso wadinani ato form ehun se no NDC aban no tietia MPP amanyoko na chita form fa hodie so. Amanfa wo mo ekabia ewomu wo mo kasa editia niema enkoyie wo manimu no. Omahu se NDC amanyoko no womo hye womo so tietia womo fa hodie. So I say these attacks, arrests, detentions, and unconscionable bail conditions have been a persistent feature of the NDC government since they took office on the 7th of January 2025. Into a chema, say attacking Krofo, chi womo tumuni ade nyina no ade any bail conditions bi ati se odwen ho a nyanse bi animu no ade omode omani ato fo mehu se efri bra ye de NDC amanyoko no etena mampani adwa so na se aban mu 7th January 2025 pe eno mo sha ase se wo mo ebo sa bra no. The latest of such acts of intimidation has been the arrest, detention, and subsequent release of David Esando for lamenting on social media about the return of Dumso and the bizarre decision to put the NPP Bono Regional Chairman Kwame Bafo Abronye into custody. Into a trema, dear Benya Hinianu ya and Anwada, David Esando, our mechanism MPP organizer muba ko said be woko posti say Dumso is back a no and no crowd in one say because Dumso asemi na national concern and no be a kebi no kwa kebi no match no na akwakotum na de twetwe aso kra NPP Bono regional chairman Kwame Bafo Abronye wono nso mo say match na tumu a sebe odwe ho a wonte ase Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na ekase o say these actions undermine free speech and are setting Ghana's democracy backwards. I condemn in the strongest of terms the unholy collaboration between the executive, state investigative agencies, and some elements within the judiciary to use intimidation and harassment to silence members of the New Patriotic Party. And to Ochema, the question de on Fuaso. Enti woma mpanimfo ehunu se omo yasa kebi maminke bia memu no na sebe womo edi etwitwi fomo anesa enti onipa bia sebe wode ne ntoma akobo oyonko entoma mu na womo edi sa sebe nyamrasem we no womo entwitwa so esanse yesa na te NPP amanyoko ni mu achitaifo na womo pese womo ka won hye na womo di womo fa yakayaka mu no womo tete womo ewo Ghana has say or say I therefore serve notice to officers of the state who are active participants in this unholy enterprise that the day of accountability will come and the abuse of state power will be accounted for. Into a chema penifo umubu o mani say no kan hunu say to me a omanya sebe womo de tete mkrofo okrodwem ha no emre bi beba womo ebeba bebu hu akonta to patriots and around the country. I urge you all to stay firm by refusing to succumb to intimidation while continuing your civic duty to hold the government accountable to its promises. We fought hard for this democracy, and as a party, we cannot surrender to its intimidation from those who possess temporary power today. In Tinache so chema was a Ghana for nyina say said ye bre ye ansa na ye de ye hunya ye fa ho die ma kebi ma minke bia memmo ye adwuma o Ghana hanum say no ye nyina ye nya baako na ye nhwe se ye nia ekoso entwa ye wo man we mu no ye betimi abre no asekra e wo krodue mu na wo mo asabi tumi ebedi wo mo nsem mretia wa bi no ombehu se de wo ye e wo oman we mu no enya ade a etwa ye ewo krodue mu hanom ese na osha krata no efi Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia enchen na eba enti na me ne wo kase idie na chese abronye chi a ya che no na Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia de ho krata aba beto mountains amanfo chem se enye omonwanwa se Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wetimi atebiri krata de aba beto mountains so efa sasem we enwezan se during the presidential primaries ni hu se de na abronye wo tai Bawumia chi na wo bo Kennedy Japan echi saa enti ebe den na Bawumia emba meke bi emfa ma abronye yo no ani nipa ebi ko echema there have been times where abronye have gone all off limit speaking about party omo party ni mu nsem a otimi se wakasa tia Kennedy Japan several times and they've called say was say Bawumia etimi call abronye to order because abronye is in his camp any other but ye hu and so enei yenya eche Kwame Bafo abronye Bono regional chairman edema the New Patriotic Party no all of a sudden Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia etimi abetro brofo call say we mechanism intimidation and harassment on NPP supporters activists any ade a wo call say penifo omubu oman no enhwe na wo enye bribi emfa ebi che se Bawumia he's more or less being like a hypocritical figure was sa ensem we nyina emu but then ye hwe baby a ebekwa akodo after 2 weeks no abronye ebekwa akopie mu court biem na update ebeba no ye de ebeba besom ahwefo now yen free abronye ensem so na yen konsem fofo so atimu se na watwi de we are in the week of arrest oyenye bibi kitwa bi na ne ye chewa ne sa so Africa abranti a woda screens so no he's an influencer he owns a clothing brand that is what amanfo bebre enim no edefa we abranti a wedi emfinhia eduasa ensia 36 years ne din a ekura nankasa Joshua Kojo Anan Boating. Na me no ka say ade a Ghana police for akwakoso ni mu. Abrantie oye sikani papa o sika wa wo hwe ni fie ni cars ni ade a wo wo East Legon na chese otimi se wa hyeda so. Na me no ka say yakwa akwache no na obebusa se ne boni a wadi ene se busuan ye kiremu a de oye ne se emma besia na wodi enuro egu nsamu de ma omo no omunum wie a na chese wafa omo wie a watwitwa ho videos ni ade na wodi akwakoto site binum ni ade so a entwa yie no ono edinya ne sika egu no botom na no na me ne wo kase CID boss Lydia Donko wode ensem ababetudwa efa abrantie kwan omofa so edi nintea omatimi ache no ene ne bonni ahodo a wadi nyina no CID boss Lydia Donko atwemu a yebekọ na yakotie ne nsema wode etudwa.
The Cybercrime Unit of the Criminal Investigations Department headquarters has arrested Joshua Kojo Anani Boate, age 36, an entrepreneur and resident of East Legon, Accra, in connection with a case involving the non-consensual sharing of intimate images. The arrest was made on 6 May 2026, following a joint intelligence-led operation by the Cybercrime Unit and the Bureau of National Investigations, BNI. Investigations revealed that the suspect operated the Telegram platform known as VIP Sleep Fetish 2025, where he drugged unsuspecting female victims using alprazolam, a sedative commonly known as Xanax, sexually abused them, recorded the acts, and shared the videos and images on that platform. The suspect is alleged to have frequented nightclubs in 2025, where he seduced, sedated, and sexually assaulted female victims before recording and disseminating their intimate images without their consent. A search conducted at the time of arrest led to the retrieval of the following exhibits: 2 iPhones, specifically an iPhone 17 and an iPhone 13 Pro Max, 1 feature phone, 1 memory card, 1 Seagate external hard drive, 1 MacBook laptop, 1 iSafe device, and empty sachets of alprazolam and midazolam pills. The retrieved electronic devices have been retained for digital forensic examination, while the empty drug sachets are being prepared for submission to the Food and Drugs Authority for verification and classification. The suspect has since been put before the court, and investigations remain ongoing. The Ghana Police Service reiterates its firm commitment to combating online sexual exploitation and abuse in all its forms, and urges the public to report suspected cases of exploitation or abuse to the nearest police station or through approved reporting channels. Good afternoon, distinguished members of the media, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to this afternoon's press briefing. The Ghana Police Service continues to record significant operational successes in its fight against serious crime. Today's briefing covers 4 major investigative and operational developments. 1. 3 suspects arrested for child sexual exploitation offenses and 4 victims rescued in the Ashanti and Bono regions of Ghana. 2. Police arrest suspect in connection with the murder and burning of a body at Legon Bypass. 3. Police arrest suspect for non-consensual sharing of intimate images. 4. Police arrest alleged leader of a child trafficking syndicate, 2 victims rescued, 1 still missing. 5. Police investigates murder of a woman at Ewutu Bentum, suspect in custody. Now to the first story of 3 suspects arrested for child sexual exploitation offenses and 4 victims rescued in the Ashanti and Bono regions of Ghana. The Ghana Police Service, working in close collaboration with the Australian Federal Police and Interpol, has arrested 3 Ghanaians for the taking, production, publication, and processing of indecent images, photographs, and videos of children, contrary to Section 62(1)(a), (b), (c), and (d) of the Cybersecurity Act 2020, Act 1038. In January 2026, Interpol Accra received an intelligence report from Interpol Canberra in Australia and the Crimes Against Children Unit of the Interpol General Secretariat regarding a case of child sexual exploitation. The intelligence was shared by the Australian Federal Police and the Australian Centre to Counter Child Exploitation Victim Identification Team. According to the intelligence report, an Australian offender who was arrested in 2025 and is currently standing trial in Australia received child sexual exploitation material from facilitators based in Ghana. Records further showed that the offender transferred funds to the facilitators in Ghana in exchange for child sexual exploitation material involving victims also located in Ghana. The Australian authorities therefore requested the Ghana Police Service to conduct investigations aimed at rescuing the victims and arresting the suspects. Further investigations conducted by a team comprising officers from Interpol Accra and the Child Digital Forensics and Cybercrime Units under the supervision of the Director General of CID led to the arrest of 2 suspects and the rescue of 2 victims aged between 7 and 13 years in the Ashanti region. Subsequently, 1 additional suspect was arrested and 2 more victims aged 6 and 7 years were rescued in the Bono region. All 3 suspects are currently in police custody, assisting investigations, while the victims are in the care of the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Units in their respective regions. Abuse Relief Corps, an NGO in Ghana, is assisting DOSO in providing care and support for the victims. The Ghana Police Service wishes to remind the general public that child sexual abuse is a criminal offense punishable by a fine of not more than 5,000 penalty units or a term of imprisonment of not more than 10 years or both. It has come to the attention of the police administration that this type of crime is increasing because it is relatively easy to commit, difficult to detect, and financially rewarding. Sadly, in the current case under investigation, the offenders are close relatives of the victims.
For that is the CID boss, Mame Lydia Donko, and will be in semeni so efa business mogul is Legon business mogul. Abante say in the videos trendy. I might be no more say upon all the flashy lives Olivia internet no show portraying say or clothing brand business caution say na niema eteta chire any idea. They say oko all over social media and the pictures and the videos any idea trendy be just say sebe bo abrabo but wabrabo asebe onfa wo ho entoto obi a ho unhwe obi a because sometimes the life na ye ofeno the flashy things that you think usu nya ya nka openo if only you knew how the person got all those things enka wonya wadwene se uso be de obekwa akopiri bikra na se weni ebe bring nipan enti ene de business mogul is Legon business mogul bebre na e friend so Africa sebe he's known for his influencing job internet no so but his real name no Joshua Kojo Anan Boating say there our police for ensemo wo mo nhwehwemu de afa nensem no ho san say boni a wadi ni de esom to think say we dey eduro ebegu nsemu e de ama ma eni ade na sebe wia onye na kwakoda how as you've dragged the person what's your video what created Telegram page and you are selling it out to people and I'm over started the videos of ono and Emma or more pepe ni ade about out say all these ladies for all you know would have been victims and as we are victims of this guy's wicked act e be just say was say emrano any need said they say papa no consideration nothing. This is the time they want to really see say it's true say embrace what Ghana kodwem hanum say juma if this guy is really punished by the law and no the ometimi say indeed the laws of Ghana are working and it's not favorable to anybody because social brante ya no pa o sika ebi no just say gbehu say money influence afefe muni ade na afi asem no ye hu ba bi ebe ye den ebe kwako wiwi so much people are so much interested and we share the updates from the CID boss na say ade a waye ache ye pa e wo Ghana hanum say nei sebe ne kruwa ayema ama yache no and so we'll be monitoring closely the beba out of this particular issue na here the update abre ahwefo now in other issues, and so no matter say week way there, a week of arrest, see a chichim crofane, see a chichomom. Now, Mecca say an agency and I say an institution that is supposed to protect a mofrano are rather sebe putting children and mothers in pain, children at risk and in pain altogether. It's as a minute say midwife and Eddie Lucinda. Naomi Ochre. Sabre, we share the report and every CID for no ba na report na do so pa. Omuche mo money in bets. Emu ba ko na ye de update ba ne chese. Lucinda oye juma ewo Trust Mother and Child Hospital ewo Osu. Na sana ebusia ade a woye child trafficking. Wajiji sikani ade no chese nkofoma eno oton mo ni ade, and it's very sad say ene ni kruwa ono nso ni kruwa ye mabuso ama se biye ni adoye di yen ye chiama ya che no esan se wo hwa ne nipa bonefo sem a wo ye sika ahodo a wo gege no abusu enye sika ketwa. Now CID boss Lydia Donko na wacheche nsem ni mu adomu soko efa anamontu a the midwife in question, very beautiful Lucinda Naomi Ochre ejuma jumedi a wo di no Mother and Child Hospital, Trust Mother and Child Hospital ewo suno ene de yapa ne ho entema yenkoti nsem ni mu emra.
Police rescued 2 child trafficking victims and appeal for the return of a missing 5-year-old girl. The Ghana Police Service has arrested an additional suspect in connection with an ongoing child trafficking investigation that has already led to the rescue of 2 child victims. The latest suspect, identified as Lucinda Naomi Ochre, a midwife in charge of the maternity and labor ward at Trust Mother and Child Hospital at Osu, has been arrested for her involvement in the trafficking network. Preliminary investigations indicate that suspect Lucinda Naomi Ochre received the missing 7-year-old girl from suspect Janet Labi and reportedly paid an amount of 20,000 Ghana cedis to facilitate the transaction. Investigations further revealed that the suspect also allegedly gave an additional 35,000 Ghana cedis to Janet Labi and instructed her to send another victim, a 5-year-old girl, to a couple residing at Pokwase. The police have gathered intelligence suggesting that the syndicates have been involved in child trafficking activities for a considerable period. This development follows an earlier operation by the Central East Regional Police Command in which 6 suspects, namely Grace Osei Efiye, Regina Ejewa, Janet Labi, Mary Doche, Yvonne Chumesi, and Sekina Umar, were arrested in connection with child trafficking and child stealing offenses. The initial investigations began after the Kaswa Divisional Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit (DOVSU) received a complaint on 10 April 2026 regarding the disappearance of 7-year-old Khadija Karim at Kaswa in the Central Region. Investigations established that the victim had allegedly been lured by suspects Janet Labi and Sekina Umar under the pretext of taking her to see her biological mother. She was later taken to an undisclosed location and kept in the custody of another woman before being returned to Kaswa and warned not to disclose the incident. Further investigations subsequently linked the suspects to another child theft case involving a 10-month-old infant and a 5-year-old girl who were taken from their mother under the pretext of caring for them. The 10-month-old infant was later traced to the Ashanti region, where the child had allegedly been sold to suspects Grace Osei Efiye and Regina Ejewa for 35,000 Ghana cedis. Police investigations led to the successful rescue and reunification of the 10-month-old infant with the parents. Khadija Karim has also been rescued safely. However, the 5-year-old girl believed to have been sent to Pokwase is yet to be rescued. The Ghana Police Service is therefore appealing to the couple holding the child in their custody at Pokwase near Eja Herbal to voluntarily hand over the child to the nearest police station or contact the police immediately to assist ongoing investigations. So far, 5 suspects are on remand, with Grace Osei Efiye on court bail. The next court date is on Wednesday, 13th May 2026 at the Ofako Circuit Court. Meanwhile, efforts are underway to apprehend all remaining accomplices connected to the syndicates. Members of the public with information about any suspects still at large are encouraged to contact the nearest police station or call the emergency numbers 191 or 112. All information received will be treated with the strictest confidence. And now to the
Yeah, that is the update the arrest of a midwife chema ono no ye in charge ankasa wo trust hospital and a trust mother and child hospital ewo osu na yehwemu a chese woni nipa kuo bi no mo eno makom ho aboma se bi omu wiawia nkrofo nkora na omo ton omo de bi ma couples ne ade enti chese abofra wo yera ye wo kaso a emre bi omo hwehwe no ne ade no ye wi ase ko hwemu nyina no na chese the midwife Lucinda Naomi Ochiri wono nso enim hu bi a se bi sikapudu a woje ye close to 20,000 Ghana cedis wode ema Janet Labi ono nso eka the corporate for no nso ehu ebi enenye abofra yi ye wode de ne koma couples bi wo baabi eno nso otu aka na se otimu so won no ye key figure ewo the child trafficking syndicate ni mo de mo adwuma mo ya ne se nkofo ma ene wo yera ne ye dada wa ye de wo koma ma me wo be wiase ne ye de wakofa baby foforo ye de fa baby foforo na wuti anye ye de an yetimi ton wo de wo ma obi foforo a ene ma mi sebe ya che na say lady ya che na. The internet is buzzing because the question people are asking is, are these people midwives meant to protect children? A whole midwife a wo a whole midwife we in charge a particular hospital. I mean, what we name the Trust Mother and Child Hospital suno enye hospital ketwa na we in charge ho no ma sebe just wonu esumase dwumedi a wodie ene se mofra and wo wiawia wo mo allegedly no I we cry the police for aba be kanti allegedly bi eni bebia ede man krofo eni ade asese no wo mo ede omo akọ a police for akukumu a omo ye nhwehwemu ede afa asem no akọhu asem na no pomasi brani ade but police for susu say we dwumedie bi a sebe omo hya asese wo mu di no enye nne omo hya asese di se dwumedie we achepa. They've been involved in this act for some time now. Afei eno matimi aye nhwehwemu aduaduamu ono kra de I mean later kra ena ye ba be che no enti ene de a police for ede hu amanebo aba betudwa and ensem we betudwa no what a lot of Ghanaians are saying is that oya awofo a e wo se wo ma weni e call ba ho because right now the history of missing children e do so na no ada Mamprobi polyclinic ye hu ye say abofra bi koyera ye ne ade there've been a lot of incidents reports aba with regards to emofra ye wia omo both omo mani afi kakra bi a say 1 to 7 8 mu onom ne ade na infants ense nkra afeni a wo mu nyina ye wia omo it say there was a parent no ye ma ye need that honom because people are also trying to feed on our kids. Or the obabe kono akojiska no di live flashy life e wo Ghana ha kasa kese e no mutene mudemu enti nyina ye ma ye ni na honom. Now still on issues concerning emofra ne ade e wo krodwem han ukopie mu e wo UGMC University of Ghana Medical Center wo mu de nsem bia ba betudwa na areho pa ebusia mu kire mu asese no wo mu hia breast milk donation bese nufuo mu nsuo no you say yen start say nufu nsuo ye donate bi e de ama wo mo na wo hwe screens so say University of Ghana Medical Center calls for breast milk donations to support survival of premature infant. Na say emofra bi wo ho no ma sebe omo brenso ye poni awo mo eni ade say no na say enye moja nkwa ne donate ewo hospitals ahodo no say nufunsuo no nso ye donate bia umuchemu say ebeya they are calling for donations of breast milk and yentimi embe donate nufo mu nsuo no mu store na emwa no mu ntimi nye emofra nkwa emofra sebe omu ye premature babies aye wo mo no omu hia nufu nsuo e de ama omu se de be ye omu betimi survive omu betimi live because without breast milk no e be den pa se emofra no ebetimi survive ewo ayaresabia hono ti ene amene o ka say de UGMC University of Ghana Medical Center ena omo ede ababetudwa omo de to Ghana fo nyina nim se wo a obetimi abeyesa donations ni bi of breast milk ede ama omo no ma store se be obetimi age emofra enkwa no omo ani ebeje wo pa jeze de Chale, maame for no because ye mu say ne ye wimpo na enufo ahihye mbu no aka say okoye breast milk donation. That means say it all boils down to a year mothers no. And I hwe mu a maame for ni bi wo ho no ma onufo ne chese nsuo ne ba broso. It is afo no betimi aboa ama ye sa donations. Some have questioned how safe these donations will be to the health of Emofrano, but coming from a hospital no, ebinum just said they believe perfectly well say there will be ways scrutiny to make sure say they get the right breast milk to give to this emofra or more premature babies our more ehia sa nufu ensure we nti abusia and some as say the aba beto apono so every the University of Ghana Medical Center no na ye de aba beto amanfo enim ti ye hwe say emrepemu no the mechanic say the amanfo ebetimi akwakoye sa donations no de ama omatimi aye sa we no now ni nyina mu no ensem a ekoso ewo ensem foforo emu no ye bekwa akopie mu ewo nano ensem a sebe ebeto odwa efa ye Nigeria ni abrante a wahwe ne nkwa ewo cancer ensensemu ono na yede ni mfoni ato screens no eso no nti wo hwa Alex Ikena Ekubo ono na sabre de watwa nananom wonse do a the internet is mourning him, Nigeria is mourning him. There Honest Abrante way, he was very energetic, he contributed massively to the Nigerian movie space. Now Osha, he's very young, he died at the age of 14 and okra areho ewo ho na ena mene wo kase ebusuafo a wo mahwere wo modehye no Omo Edinsem Aba Betuja. Now, Osha, this is coming from Pulse, Nigeria. I'll say Alex Ekubo's family releases official statement following his demise. Into Alex Ekubo Nebusian for Womo Edin Krata Aba Betu Montenswa. Womo Echem say no crack say Omodishene Womo said the Potian with him or say it is with profound sadness that we announce the passing of our beloved husband, son, brother and friend Alex Ikena Ekubo de aka no Nigeria for the beso so de amaye ha nti omu chema areho e no mode bodero se wo mode hye omu kunu wo moba omu nua be ma omu yonko made nyina Alex Ikena Ekubo watwa nananom ewo ensiedo. After a brief but courageous battle, Alex passed away at Evacuation Hospital due to complications arising from advanced metastatic kidney cancer. Inti womu chema na chese Alex areho de nanso ukonkodin na owuye ewo Evacuation Hospital na we efa kidney cancer metastatic kidney cancer wonya ehu na wode atwa nananom ewonsie. So throughout this difficult journey, he bore his pain with remarkable strength, unwavering faith, and enduring hope, believing that one day his testimony would be shared with the world. Into muchema ebrana or fasa ya di we munyina no na wodi ahoden mapa na ukura gidie bi se ede bi beba sebi no wani daso se ne ho beto no na ede bi beba wo ba be di adanse ama ewiase nyina hu se ofa bibi se mu na wade ne ho edi efri mu. Now during this deeply painful time, we humbly ask for privacy and prayers for the peaceful repose of his soul and for all who mourn in immense loss. Into muchema ebrewe cho ko ka kenkren omo mpe asumdwe mu na womo epese womo dehye no wutimi ekoda na amanfo a womu sunu no nso womutimi nya asumdwe edisunu ewa asumdwe mo. So further details regarding funeral arrangement and other family matters will be communicated in due course. We sincerely thank everyone for the love, support, and prayers and understanding extended to the family throughout this period. for the family of Alex Ikena Ekubo into Muchema. And repemuno, the fa a year yo ho any bibiano, womo edi e hunsem, ebeba ababeto a ye and Montaigne eso. Now, Nini muno, menewo kase, Dr. Nibia. Na wo monitor ensemwa ekoso yie pa no waba be kiremu efa eye de metastatic kidney cancer ye chemu se echi Alex Ekubo a wentimi enya ne tiendidi mu a wo free mu no na wo hwemo say it is likely renal cell carcinoma which is the mostly common kidney cancer into chema kidney cancer no the common pa amanfo tenya no na ye dem metastatic kidney cancer o say major risk factors are smoking into niema enam so mo obi betimi enya sa kidney cancer no smoke obi a wo hye obesity obi a wo so genetics che say ebi wo system no emu family history bo abekọ na busuemu no na ade a ewo honom na common ewo emema emu. It can be metastatized in the lungs, bone, liver, brain, adrenal gland. Inti ade bia sebe etimi di edi hene pa ewo ye lungs ni mu bebia ye home efa no ye nompemu ye liver brebo no na adwene mu na adrenal gland ne ho tai edi hini ewo pa o se may his soul rest in peace. Into we share image na say wo kire ba bia yade no etimi kodeda ne ade ye jama science for no omwankasa emechechem na so hwemu a na chese ade bi ebetimi anam so Alex Ekubo efri mu no eno na sabre de Dr. Nini chese Alex Ekubo yi onso tebia smoking bia na echemu a esantimi di hene ewo ememe mu ye ankasa nti yare ho ye bompai se ne kra ebeda asumdwe emu na every bra Alex Ekubo wo ibeto dwama focus so he was battling all this in silence ya ante ho pupuye bia although he went MIA somewhere in 2024 ya hwehwe na ye hunu ye ntane nkane ade nyina no ni nyina akofa ahemfa sa na chese wono nko anim de na ofemu na eno amanfo bebre ase wo mabopusa one person na wabe react to it no Bobrisky chiremu a de ato Alex Ekubo yi amane nyanyansa bi pa na ohwa o say have never seen where someone demise trouble me so much, especially when I heard it's cancer into a chema wu and shedan hano but way there or say cancer no aboni pusa or say guess what guys, have booked for a full checkup with my doctor today not just a baby no it was so call na okoye ni readie no munhwehwemu just going for a general checkup. I know I'm dramatic, but life is sweet too, especially when you work so hard to be successful. Haba, you should enjoy your own labor. And to say Alex Ekubo as young as he is, sika wa pe abrabo wa boni ade nyina. And tie ba ne krache mu se otimi transplant. Na transplant na any failure. And so when you sika krati mi ko transplant, that should tell you say he had a lot of money anka. Say sika energy ni pankwa. Enka by now Alex Ekubo eda so etinkwem. Na Bobrisky chemu say ewo we de bie nani into ono de wokọ na wakwa ye nhwehwemu e de afa ne redeem ten say eye futuo de maye nyina se ye wo ho a ye nto ya ye nye check up ni ade na ye nhwe se de niema esi ekọ ewe ya brabom. We can't just be living adamantly say ya so ya no pa ya kwa adwuma ya ba ni abedidi ni ade to all you for all you know no na niema bi ekoso ewo redeem a unim enti we ayarehosem a ye begina so na ya ma abusuafo yakọ ene hyeden ewo mo de hia wo mo ahwere no ehu ni nyina mu no in other matters a ekoso ewo Ghana ha sei no nanu ada Kevin Taylor ebe kasa ye manano etra former president John Ajekum Kufuor amanfo bibreka se omepa chew na nensem a wokanye edefa mampani dada Kufuor eho no eyade a entwe yi obuo bia enimu na enrada ye hun se obebubo obi edema MPP amanyoko ne se omodi aba betudwa so omayi nefi party nimu because of nensem ochem so obi entimi nyi no wa be wadwe so be yi no obesiri no na nsem ne koso no nipa ba ko no nso beka se Kevin Taylor emepacho Captain Smart. Captain Smart beka say we there Kevin Taylor ama nani atra nani ton say wo beka sa e de tia Kufuor se Kufuor ye lazy ena ote eye wheelchair mu onye disabled ema omo nkan ne nka disabled oni ade no ena captain e ka sebe yade wo hoi yemfa ensi nipa enti Kevin Taylor emepacho ene Kevin abetutu bi de ama Captain Smarter ebinum che said it is going to be a very long week for us ye be wa kotie Kevin Taylor ne nsema wode etuja.
I have no idea, and I am not going to change anything from here. Yen to mean tina kronim na yen treating nipa bi to say omo ye different. J.A. Ekubo, our spokesperson, our lawyers, they should come out and release a statement that whatever I said about him is a lie. He dares not. I am telling him. Mo Papa Kufuor, he dares not. Because whatever I said, I showed him the document. So also a kroji no nya kromfo be di Ghana so obu ye fa so under his leadership with a document I showed you. You should come out and speak. Why are you people so heartless? Foolish people. Motete Ghana obidi bonia yankata so because oya santiniba na teniba no de oya otwe awunaniba no agibifo infantiniba no nyanipa kwasiafo. And we are going to deal with you people. We are going to deal with you people because you have left your common sense at home. You are left with stupid tribe. And a tarama kumaho into mujimina is some moto. Monchumo Mike na monfanko for Captain Smart or China for Mike ko papa. Neko busa papa say dear Kevin Taylor can no kra na nya no kra no yin ho ano. Motiti radio slam ka kansam hunu. Mahwemu nyina na mama respect. Captain Smart, mama will respect for a long time. Ochina, when I want access to Kufuor, take your mic and take the documents to him and say, speak. Sebio Sir Kevin say, oh, you're political criminal. Speak on these matters. None of the matters a intro. He should tell us that those things I showed yesterday were a lie or were lies. And then kwasi ade na motete Ghana hono. Me papa de enka ne ho asem so edipa bonini. Obi papa de enka ne so edipa bonini. Na ba nipa odi yeso ho nsam de a yenkata so because ye papa Kufuor. Ye papa Kufuor ntima me yenka ye papa Kufuor ho nsam. Now are you people okay? Are you reasonable enough to build a nation? Into one yenka ne ho asem. Mu will be defending Kufuor do. Must keep Kufuor Kufuor so. And Kufuor needs to talk. He needs to speak. And I'm not done. And I'm telling you people, I am not done. Until Kufuor speaks, I am not done. Because I will let Ghanaians know who J.A. Kufuor is. His office is there. They should release a statement. I speak to documents. I don't speculate. Every single thing I showed here, I spoke to the document. So he has the right to respond to the document. Nipebiti MPP mudin kwasiasem ediatro ekan some to nipebi so because of where they are coming from, because of the tribe they belong to, because they don't see them as humans. You people want us to embrace you people. A foolish political party is this. In nobody can intimidate me on this planet. Nobody. And the things you people are doing, you just say, nobody can stop me. It is only Allah. Onyankopon kwa na betima esade no. Munko buta Samira ba omi eduro be no afa mankoso. Mumbuta Samira ba omi a eduro be no afa mankoso.